They're dropping like fucking flies.
33-year-old man died Sunday afternoon while playing at a tennis match at Red Rock Country Club.
Greetings, JW here, up on the border of New Hampshire, Massachusetts-New Hampshire border, where it's pretty cold out today. Probably with the wind chill, I'm guessing it's 10 below zero, and it certainly feels it. I just stepped outside for a little while this morning to attempt a short walk, which I did do, but it was mighty cold today. And I hope it's warmer where you are. Let me know where you are. If you happen to run across this video, be happy to hear about where you're from and what it's like there at this moment. But anyway, more disturbing news. Anyone who watched my last video knows that I've been trying to do videos at least a couple of times a week. And it's very easy to find material on young people who just dropped dead for no apparent health reason other than what we believe. I say we, meaning some of the people who watch my channel. It could be attributed to maybe a test drug that many of them took, some unwillingly, some willingly as they lined up to get it, unfortunately. But anyway, this young man was 43 years old, and apparently he was in terrific shape. He looked like a bodybuilder. And I'll just play a little bit of this video of someone else who did a short story on him.
Doctors watching the match rushed to perform CPR, but after 55 minutes of medical attention, Ryan Vanas' heart never restarted.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a very sad story that I feel like I should bring some attention to because, quite honestly, this is scary, okay? It is getting scary in regards to what is happening in this country where you have people who are suddenly collapsing and dying out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. People are starting to pick up on this in large numbers now. I think many of the people who were vaccinated are probably having second thoughts on the decision they made, or in some cases, the decision that they were encouraged to make. Let me just say this. My heart goes out to anyone who has become ill or lost a family member because of this test drug. And I by no means am making light of this, but I also question anyone who tells me they were forced to get it. Sure, they may have been told that they would lose their job if they didn't get it, but nobody came into your home and dragged you out and stuck a needle in your arm. So it was, in that sense, completely voluntary. Now, I know sometimes you have to make decisions based on economics. Let's take an example of a guy who has, or a woman who has, a spouse, 3 or 4 kids, a mortgage, car payments, car lease payments, whatever. It's difficult just to walk away from a job that you're making decent money at. I understand that. But at the same time, if you truly believe that this particular test drug that you're being asked to take if you want to remain employed could potentially take you away from your family, I think these are hard decisions. And again, I don't judge people, but I do find it somewhat disturbing when they say they were forced to take it. No one was forced. A mandate since wearing masks. You can't come in my restaurant unless you wear a mask. That's a mandate. It's not a law. Now, you could argue that the person owns the business and they have a right to serve whoever they want, and that is true. But if someone refused to serve a woman, saying I don't serve women, or I don't serve sexuals, or I don't serve someone who does things that I disagree with or my religious beliefs disagree with, then I think a private business has the right to refuse service to someone, okay? But there are plenty of restaurants. I went in supermarkets, restaurants. I never wore a mask. I wore a mask one time during the alleged pandemic. and that was when I had to go to the dentist. I didn't have a problem with that because, frankly, all my prior visits prior to the alleged pandemic, I always wore a mask. So, I mean, the dentist is literally sticking his head in your mouth, basically. And, you know, I can appreciate him being cautious and not wanting to, what if I sneezed or anything, you know, so I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem when I'm walking into the supermarket. I always keep my distance anyway, even before these social distance arrows and all that crap went up. But so nobody with one exception, a young man ran up to me who worked at the supermarket and tried to hand me a mask and said, he was very polite and said, "Sir, you need to wear a mask in here." And I said, "Oh, that's okay, I'm okay, but thanks for your concern, I appreciate it." And I just moved on, did my shopping. During the course of the mask mandate at all of these stores, I was never thrown out of any place. Now, I don't go out to eat very often. I like making my own food. I'm kind of into health, and I like making foods that benefit me nutrition-wise. And be honest with you, I know it sounds corny, but I don't trust restaurants. I don't know what they put in the food, and I'm sure many of them use quality ingredients. I used to go out to eat a lot when I was younger. I'm an old guy now. I prefer to make my own food, or in some cases, I might buy a prepared meal if I am familiar with the people who make the food, and they print the ingredients on it. And, I'm not that hardcore that I wouldn't, if I were hungry and someone invited me out to a restaurant, I'd go out and make do, but I'm not a big restaurant person. I don't like, first of all, I go into a restaurant and I might have a steak and, a steak, and I don't do carbohydrates. I'm kind of a carnivore person. I'm not kind of a carnivore person. I eat meat and eggs pretty much. That's what I eat. And so, a steak, it's going to cost me probably $40 to $50 by the time you get taxed and tipped and all that sort of thing. I go to BJ's. It's a wholesale place around here. It's like Costco or Sam's Club, one of those places. And I can get, the best prime rib they have or the best ribeye they have. And I could get, for $50, I could get 3 or 4 meals out of it. So, I'm just not a restaurant person. So most of the places I went to a couple of farms that are near my home. I buy most of my food that's at these farms. But, there's always the staples you need to go to the supermarket for. I never was asked to leave by anyone. I was kind of encouraged to wear a mask to enter the place. But what I do is I had I go hiking pretty much every day, weather permitting, and so I always wear like one of those neckerchiefs around my neck and backpack, in case you got to wipe sweat or whatever, So I would wear that around my neck. I guess that satisfied the entrance requirements, and but I was never asked to leave. And so a mandate is not a law. I don't mean to go off on a tangent. That's not what this video is about. But anyway, I don't know if this tennis player was vaccinated or not. I have no idea. I don't know the man. But it seems to me just another incident of a young person. 43 is young. Believe me, when you get to be my age, I'm in my 70s, and 43 is young. Believe me, you got a lot of living left to do at 43. You probably have reached about half your life expectancy. I think the average expectancy for a male now is 78, so a little more than half your life. But he should have had, between 30 and 40 years left on average. And to die at that young age, and apparently he was in terrific shape. And it's very sad, but it's a continuation of what's going on. And what bothers me, as I mentioned in the last video I made, is that very few news media outlets seem to report much about it, and the ones that do kind of gloss over it and never mention the elephant in the room. Oh, someone died because of heart issues, or most of them they died, but we don't know the causes of the death. It died suddenly. As someone mentioned in the comments on my last video, suddenly is not a cause of death. And of course, again, I reiterate that when they do autopsies on people, they know why they died. So if they tell you that they're inconclusive, they're lying, in my opinion. But anyway, let's listen to this video a little bit more.
Where from heart-related conditions, whether they have a heart attack, whether they go into a full cardiac arrest, this is something that we have seen spike in this country during the time of the pandemic. Now, again, there are theories about why this may be happening. Okay, is it from the virus itself? Okay, they say that the virus can, cause some type of
the video's not
myocarditis or some heart issues, or is it from something else having to do with the pandemic that also could have the side effects of causing myocarditis or some heart issues that they say are short term. Okay, but again, we're seeing a whole lot of this, and I think it's
that's the thing. We're seeing not only a whole lot of it. We're seeing they're showing us just a fraction, in my opinion, of the number of people that are dropping dead. Young people. I'm talking again, people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, even 50s. Young people, apparently healthy people, are just dropping like flies. Okay, it's not normal. The news media should be reporting on this and asking for answers. They should be interviewing Dr. Fauci and all of these alleged scientists and all of these TV doctors who went on and told everyone, oh, you should get the vaccine. There's still this woman doctor on a local channel up here where I live who is a regular on this 5 o'clock news show. And she still encourages people to get 5-year-olds and up the vaccine. And just smiles and says, oh, it's safe and effective. And I'm thinking, with all of the information we have now from the CDC, even they admit it now that it was wrong. They admit that the mask did nothing, and they persecute anyone who disagreed with them. Not people like me. I'm not a celebrity, but I mean a guy like Kyrie Irving. All right, the NBA and the New Jersey Nets are trying to get rid of Kyrie Irving. He has a strange personality. I'll give them that. He marches to his own drummer. But in my opinion, the Brooklyn Nets and the NBA should be apologizing to Kyrie Irving. He was right. What he said about the vaccine cost him untold millions of dollars. I estimated between the amount of salary he lost, and they will not be renewing him with one of those high-end contracts. Max contracts, they call them in the NBA. And I figure he lost about $250 to $300 million for taking a stand on not getting vaccinated. That man, in my opinion, is a hero, and they treat him like he's the worst person on earth. And, and then you all recall this, I'm sure, is he posted a link to a book he got on Amazon that I forget the name of it. But it was something to do with blacks and Jews, and that the blacks were the original Jews. And anyway, everyone went after him as an anti-Semite, okay? Now, mind you, that Amazon is still selling this book, still to this day. And no one went after Amazon for selling the book, but they go after Kyrie Irving because he posted a link to it. He didn't say, this is a great book, I'm glad they said this or that. He just posted a link on Twitter. So we know that the media is not on the level, okay? They're going after selected people, and they're keeping away from the medical people who lied to us. And we now know for a fact they lied to us. The CDC is releasing the information every day. We learn more that masks were ineffective. The vaccine was not tested properly. Not only was it ineffective, they believe it's been causing myocarditis. And so anyway, I'm starting to rant, I know, and I apologize for that, but I see young people dying every day, and I'm going to continue to do a video at least 2 or 3 times a week and point out the problems here. And I hope some of you will join in with me, and maybe we're small, we're not, this is not a big channel, but maybe we can make a difference. Maybe enough people will see it and people will start asking questions to their political representatives, or maybe we can make a difference. I don't know. It's very frustrating. You talk to friends and relatives who took the shot, and they think I'm a conspiracy theorist. They have all kinds of names for my, he's wearing the tinfoil hat. But, everything I've said to them has turned out to be correct. I told them that masks were a waste of time. I told them that the vax was untested and that they should be careful, at least wait until the proper testing has been done. And, they laughed at me, and that's fine. I don't care. I don't care about that anyway. That doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is I wish the medical community had been more upfront in giving people, yeah, sure, if you want to take it, fine. But give people the truth. Tell people, listen, this vaccine was tested for about 6 months when it should have been tested for probably 10 to 15 years. And so this is rushed through. So many politicians are at fault here, including Trump. Trump was president at the time, and a lot of people, because I'm a conservative, and a lot of people think that I should support Trump. I don't support politicians. I support the conservative way of life. I believe the conservative way of life, family, God, is the way to go. Okay, I'm proud of that. If you support a different lifestyle, that's your business. But I believe in family, God, and country, and that's just the way it is. But anyway, again, I'm ranting, and I just think that all of us together maybe can make a difference. If you have any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. Maybe we can make something happen. I don't know. Anyway, this is JW signing off, and I appreciate you listening and watching the video. Thank you.